This is the Veteran Woman Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to empowering, inspiring, and encouraging veteran women to overcome their struggles and celebrate their successes. Now, here's your host, the one and only Ariel Renal.
Welcome, everyone. On today's show, we have Chrystal-Lynn. She is the vibrant and curvaceous powerhouse behind the Curvy Executive brand. She's no stranger to hard work. And right now, she's currently living in Atlanta and originally from Bermuda. She's always been determined not to become a statistic. As the only girl on an all-bar soccer team, 5-year-old Chrystal quickly became used to breaking boundaries and shattering the status quo. So today I want to welcome Chrystal, and I want her to tell us a little bit beyond that bio and what she wants our listeners to know today about her. And just to cue her in a little bit, she has this phrase that she used called the homeless entrepreneur. What does that mean?
All right. Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Ariel. I am so happy to be on this podcast and get to talk to you a bit. So yes, I am Chrystal-Lynn, the Curvy Executive. Now, what does the phrase the homeless entrepreneur mean? It goes back to what you just read in my description, that I'm not a stranger to hardship. So picture this. September 5th, 2014, 6 people, 11 suitcases, and a dream, off to a new country. This is the way my children and I started our permanent move to Atlanta, Georgia. Now, we have been living back and forth between the United States and Bermuda for years. My sons, who are actually 11, were born in Greensboro, North Carolina. But this time was different. I was married. My husband and I had made a decision. He's an American citizen. So we made a decision that it was more financially feasible for us to live in Georgia, because Bermuda is a rather expensive place. So my husband stayed in Bermuda in our house, working, while I moved to Georgia. Now, the planning for this was extensive. We planned for over a year. I came out here and visited. I knew which school system I wanted my children to be in. We put down a deposit on a home that we were going to rent. We signed the lease, and basically his family assisted by picking us up from the airport and allowing me to stay there for a few days until it was time for moving. And long story short, we were scammed out of that property. So we were never able to move in. Every week it was a different story. Oh, there was a flooding. We have to redo the flooring. Now, mind you, with this situation, we had already paid. All utilities were in our name because that was a part of the agreement. Oh, wow. Everything was in our name. So when I got out here with my children, I had already checked out the schools. And because they were giving us the runaround, we had access to this place every day, this home. So we would go there every day. And after about 2 weeks, we decided to go ahead and enroll the kids in school. And they were being picked up and dropped off from the house. And we were still going into the house because work was being done. And long story short, that house wasn't ours. That house was actually sold June of that same year to another family. That house was actually rented to 4 other families other than myself. So we end up realizing that, okay, so $6,500 down the drain, because what they actually end up requiring afterwards was an additional deposit. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I did not have that much credit. So they asked for an additional deposit that we gave them. So we were like $6,500 plus the 6 plane tickets that it took to get here and everything else that it took to move. So we found ourselves in a sticky situation, which why I named it the homeless entrepreneur, because from September 5th, 2014 to November 19th, 2015, we had nowhere to call our own. We were pretty much going from place to place, between places, motels, hotels, the car, wherever. I lost my passport in the process. So because I lost my passport, it was like, it's a tit for tat thing in regards to finances. How, okay, I want to get a new passport, but we need groceries. But we need to pay for this hotel, but we need groceries and we need the passport. And then I looked like time was going. In the process, all of those things happen. And so the homeless entrepreneur it got bred out of the situation that happened and the fact that nobody that I worked for knew my situation. Nobody knew that I was doing my work from a phone. Nobody knew that I had a library card for every county because we live so many different places. By the time I counted, there had been 12 different residences that we had lived in a 13-month span. So although we did move, I tried to keep my children stable by keeping them in the same school. And so there was a lot of driving. Some days we'll leave them at 5 just to get them to school on time because I had already uprooted them from Bermuda again. And I did not want any instability. So what I learned how to do during this process was implement systems that will help me grow my business and learn more about my business. Because as much as I thought I was an entrepreneur and I had my own business, when I had made that move, I really didn't have a clue. I learned so much during that process. And so with the homeless entrepreneur, what my goal is to do is to teach people how to start a business if they don't have nothing, if they just have a dream and a vision, and or those who are struggling, those who are entrepreneurs, not to fall into that trap of becoming a homeless entrepreneur, because it can happen very easily. And so through that process, my children and I have gotten stronger. We have gotten closer. Unfortunately, my marriage did not really last during the process because so many things went on that were probably attributed more to stress and just a lot of things. And so basically, it took me a while to even say this out loud in public because, number one, I guess at first it was a little embarrassing because I was just determined to make my move. And whether I did not follow God's plan or not, I'm not absolutely sure, but I know that this journey was purposeful. It was purposeful because it's been so rewarding emotionally, spiritually, and I know financially it will be just as rewarding. And so I like to say I may be in business and I may not be at point Z, but I can definitely show you how to get to A, from A to R at least, because that's where my journey has taken me. So I'm not saying I'm an expert in everything, but what I have been through has allowed me, like I said, to utilize systems that have helped. I had an HTC-1 that I was blessed with, actually. Literally walked into a phone store and somebody purchased it outright for me. And that HTC-1 carried me through the time up until I got my house, the house I'm in now. When I got my house and I was comfortable, it just shut off. It just broke. And so I feel like everything has happened purposely in the way it is. And although I may have been distracted from the course, I have been put back. I feel like I have been put back on the course and where exactly I'm supposed to be. So, that's
it in a quick nutshell.
Yeah, that's a little bit more about me. Wow.
So you keep mentioning your business. Can you tell us more about your business and what you do? Like, I know you're a virtual assistant, and I know some of the things that you're able to do and that you've accomplished and stuff, but let our listeners know from your point of view what you do as a VA and the other things that you do.
And the start of my business also came out of hardship. I worked for my mom and I was a teacher, and I became redundant because her enrollment was low and I had to find something to do. Now, I was already building business plans, doing social media, doing bookkeeping for people. And so I decided, I looked it up, and my mom actually suggested be a virtual assistant, and I looked it up, and the Curvy Executive was born. And that was, a few years ago. And from then, I realized how much I love to serve people. So what I do as a virtual assistant is I serve by creating solutions to business problems. and allowing business owners to see how much more time they can have in their work day by delegating services and implementing systems. So as a virtual assistant, I work remotely. So I work from home. I do occasionally go in office for people or meet up in person, but normally I work from home. And normally as a VA, one of the perks is lower overhead for business owners. That is a perk, but really the value that we bring, because a virtual assistant deals with so many different businesses, our resources and our reach is so far. We can connect people with other industries so easily because we work with so many different industries. So as a VA, I do all things admin, all things back office, from social media, bookkeeping, strategy. I also do a bit of consulting. So travel arrangements, calendar management, did I say scheduling? Those type of things, content writing, Word, website assistance, the support. Those are some of the things that I do as a virtual assistant and that the Curvy Executive does. And right now, the Curvy Executive has grown to be able to add team members. So I have team members that I have on my team and also other virtual assistants that I subcontract to, because I as well am a business owner and get sometimes busy and overwhelmed and need a virtual assistant. So yeah, that's what the Curvy Executive does.
So just like Chrystal said, business owners, as entrepreneurs, we tend to get busy and overwhelmed. And that's where virtual assistants really come in to help take some of that load off of us. So like the PowerPoint slides, the paperwork, the creating the spreadsheets, creating the emails. I mean, just the same things that in a regular corporate environment that an executive assistant would do, a virtual assistant will do. And I'm telling you, they have really been lifesavers. So that's why I wanted to bring Chrystal onto the show to, talk about being a virtual assistant, talk about being an entrepreneur as well, talking about being a mother, a single mother, somebody who came from another country into the U.S., all of that stuff, and just overcoming those struggles and obstacles and still being able to achieve her dream and, build her way up. Even when, statistics may have said that it wasn't going to happen or it wasn't possible.
Absolutely.
So Chrystal, can you tell us about your program, The Nitty Gritty and SOAR?
Okay, so The Nitty Gritty is a business startup program. And the nitty gritty is exactly what it says. It starts from the nitty gritty. We dig down to the root of what it takes to start your business. So the nitty gritty is basically a 6-week course that's broken up into modules, and it goes from doing developing your mission and vision statement, a 1-page pitch, your marketing strategy, knowing who your ideal client is, all of your back office stuff that people take a while to do, like your local and federal registration, your business banking, your address. And then it goes into building your team and small business financing, and of course, automating your business and creating systems. So that's what the nitty gritty is. It gets down to the nitty gritty of your business startup And it's not all about, and what I like to say is that it's not all about the pretty stuff. I try to, as a VA, I find a lot of businesses that don't have it together. They really don't. They may have been in business for over 5 years and the business isn't even registered. They don't know about their copywriting laws or trademarking or registration, and they really don't even know their basic elevator pitch and who their ideal client is. And sometimes that puts them in a place of struggling. So to avoid that, that's why I created this program to help enhance the foundation that your business is built on, because that's important. And the SOAR program is a program on creating systems. The SOAR program is allowing you to watch your business soar by automating your business life. And just like what I said, that's what I specialize in, showing you how to have more hours in your day. So with the SOAR program, you come into that program and you learn about different levels of automation systems according to your industry, with different price points. We do live tutorials and we do webinars and continuous email support. And the SOAR program is ideally for a person who has already started their business and would like to implement these systems to make the life easier. The new business owner can benefit from the SOAR program, but a person that's been in business maybe up to 3 years already will understand a bit more when entering into this program.
Awesome. And she rolled her, see, I'm looking at her on Skype and she rolled her eyes when I asked her those questions. I think I kind of caught her off guard.
Well, I hope I did good for that off guard.
But I knew she had it because we were actually looking at the program together the other day, and it's an amazing program. So if you need help with your elevator pitch, your registering your business, copywriting, trademarking, branding, any of that, organizing, creating systems, or if any of this sounds foreign to you, make sure to connect with Chrystal. And how can we connect with you, Chrystal? What's your website?
My website is thecurvyexecutive.com, and you can find me across all social media at The Curvy Executive. You can also email me at info@thecurvyexecutive. So if you put in The Curvy Executive, you should be able to find me.
So we talked about some of your ups and downs and some of your obstacles in life. And as an entrepreneur, what is some of the best life or business advice that you've been given that you would like to pass on to others?
Well, one of the best business tips that I've been given is to surround myself with the right people, and surround myself with people at different levels that are where I would like to be, where I am now, and where I used to be. Because the people that are at where I used to be, I can help get to where I am. The people that that are in the same position that I am now, we can put strategies together to grow. And the people that are ahead of me, I can thrive to be where they are, and they can give me the strategies to get to where they are and further. That's probably some of the best.
Wow. That one I have not heard. But I really like that. Got to write that one down.
I can't say I absolutely heard it from somebody else, but I know that one person mentioned it to me directly, to surround myself with better people. And then one person assisted with that analogy. I remember it was a while ago, but great advice anyway.
Yes,
because
it is.
It's useful. You never want to get so ahead of the game and so successful that you forgot where you was, and you forgot about those people that were exactly where you were 5 or 10 years ago. Because
those are the very people that you can help.
Absolutely. Yep.
So what's one of your personal habits that you feel attributes to your success?
Personal habits. Writing things down. I guess that would be accounted as a habit. I actually thought today, if I was to lose my numerous amounts of notebooks or journals, I would be so upset. And then I thought to myself, maybe I can create like an app or something that can store people's information, because we like to, I write everything down. So my personal habit is to write a list and go over my list daily and go back into my list of my previous list. Actually, Ariel, I tagged you in a post this morning on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Not sure if I can say this or not, but I tagged you in a post because in the post, it was a year ago. It was Facebook memories, and it was a year ago. And it was me creating a challenge. And it was called the Curvy Executive 7 for 7 Challenge on Periscope. Like I did, and here I am now creating a challenge. Like I did that a year ago, but I didn't know what to do with it.
Mm.
And so that takes me back to my habit. My habit of writing a list and doing things lets me revisit stuff. It lets me revisit and stay on track and remember the thoughts I had a year or two ago and maybe be able to implement them now.
I like that. So what are you implementing now? What are some of your upcoming programs?
Well, like I said, thanks to you, the challenge, the challenge that I'm doing, the 5-day challenge, which will be well structured this time and will lead to something, because back then my website wasn't even live. It wasn't even up. And I had so much interaction on that challenge. And so it's the challenge. And then I have the Starting a Business with Under 1K course. Now that course is going to be so much fun. So with that course, we will be able to, I will show you how to start a business with 1K. And it also ties into the homeless entrepreneur of going from poverty to profits.
Oh,
that's my tagline.
Oh, when did that come up? Did you just say it, or
I wrote it down? Listen,
you wrote it down.
Wrote it down and put it on my wall.
I've had a sneak peek inside of this course, y'all, and I'm telling you, it is amazing. Chrystal was worried about it being not enough or too simple or whatever the word was she was using. But I'm telling you, it is amazing. So if you want to know or learn how to start a business under 1K, if you want to know how to get your business off the ground, even though you may not know where to begin, this is definitely the challenge and the course for you. So stay tuned, and I will definitely post more information about that, the exact dates, how to sign up, all that good stuff. So, Chrystal, do you have any resources? And this is a chance to plug your resources or plug someone else's. Any resources that you would definitely recommend our listeners connect to or look into or purchase or whatever?
Okay, well, in regards to resources in your community, number one, I'm going to say join Toastmasters because I did recently, and it's a great way to start getting your speaking voice out. And check out your small business association in your area, as well as SCORE. Check out SCORE in your area because they have tons of free resources for new or experienced business owners. And in regards to courses or people, anytime you're launching a product, I think that you should definitely check out Jeff Walker and read his books or check out his courses. He's definitely one. In regards to women entrepreneurship, I'll recommend Felicia Phillips, and all things Brandon, I'll recommend Jay Stone. And for your sales page, your sales pitches, definitely the Biz Babes group on Facebook, Andra Bolin. For copywriting, Tepsi. I mean, I can go on and on, but I mean, these are people that I have found to have contributed to my business success, whether they know it or not. They have contributed because they have dished out so much information that started my process. And to be quite honest, Periscope was a huge player in the development of pushing my business further. So if you're not on Periscope, go on Periscope and interact and go live.
So you didn't hear it from me. You heard it from someone else. All of those names that she listed, I highly agree. Andra Bolin, Tepsi, Zach Spuckler, Felicia Phillips, Jay Stone, all of them are amazing, and they're amazing at their trade, what they do, and helping others build that business, build their branding, getting government contracts, writing that copy, learning how to sell, learning how to do it scared, all of that stuff. Live streaming is Zach's specialty. Just all this information is amazing. And hopefully I'm going to get them on this podcast to talk to y'all one-on-one. That is my goal.
Yes. And if you're looking to monetize, definitely hit up Nicole Walters. If you're looking to monetize, hit up Nicole Walters. And if you are a Black business owner, you need to be on Black Biz Scope, on Periscope. I mean, you can increase your profits in one session. So those are just different resources. Those are people that really, I have a Periscope journal and I have a journal of people that contributed. And so one day I really just need to get together and thank them all because of the tips that they've given. And Cheryl Woods, of course. She's awesome too.
And we're going to squeeze all of this information out of Chrystal. Trust me. Yes, we're going to take all those journals and make it available to you all. We're working on it. I'm working with her. We're going to pick her brain because she has some amazing content to share with the world. So last question, what book is your favorite? What book have you read lately that is your absolute favorite that you recommend everybody to read?
Damon John, The Power of Broke. Hands down. Damon John, the fashion mogul and the serial entrepreneur, business owner, and the host of Shark Tank. His book, The Power of Broke, has some awesome stories in there. Actually, maybe I could be in the next one for the homeless entrepreneur piece, right? Because he has some good stories.
Hey, speak it. Speak it. Put it out to the universe.
I got lunch with him, but it's not quite working yet. So if any of you all know him, gotta give him my information. But that book has been very inspirational. That book has been where I can take some of the stories and actually read them out loud to my children, so that they can understand, because they have some pretty good. It's some good stories in there, and it starts off with his. But the book is a combination of stories of other people, and how they went basically from broke to profits.
So that's another book to put on our list, The Power of Broke by Damon John. Damon John. Okay. Sorry. That's my Texas accent. Damon. But I know who you're talking about. So is there anything else you would like to leave our listeners with? And please don't forget to give them your website once again.
Well, my website is thecurvyexecutive.com, and anything I would like to leave you with. Consistency. Consistency is key in everything that you do. And occasionally we get lazy. Occasionally we get off track. And sometimes things aren't going our way. But if you are consistent and stay the course, then you will see everything flourish. That's what I want to leave you with.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Chrystal. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Veteran Woman Podcast. If you want to connect with Ariel and let her know what you thought of today's show, be sure to head over to www.theveteranwoman.com and follow her on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @The Veteran Woman.